so let's get going here. Starting with 1987's Contamination. It was a rush shooting job and it was a rush editing job. And this is what we came up with under pressure. Kyle did these credits. No, he didn't do these credits. I did these credits on a typewriter with the biggest font it had, and just shot them with the camera, borrowed from the University of Arizona. What Kyle did was this thing here. He did that, did kind of a blurry fade in there. He did the credit there. And here we go. This is the Barnyard Mechanics. That's completely gone now, demolished. There's nothing left of this place. Houses are probably there now. It's kind of a bummer. It'd be fun to go and visit it again after, 12 years now? It's now March of '99. And here comes Serge and Bob. All that second unit photography was done on a different day. I think a Friday, and this is all on I think this was shot on a Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. All in one day, except for a couple second unit shots that we did here and there with Bob and some of the scenery. But everything with Serge was on one day, Saturday. We picked him up at the Foothills Mall and went shooting. He was a last-minute replacement, actually, for Bob and Pete's and mine. My friend Lamar was supposed to be in it. In fact, we shot a couple scenes. He had he had broken his leg and was on crutches, but he just blew it off. Just wasn't into it. After a couple of hours into it, said forget it. Great dolly shot here on wheels. A little jerky, but one of the best ones. In fact, this movie probably has more dolly work than any of them, except for maybe Specimen. What the hell happened here? That's kind of a... As I mentioned in the making of C2, a lot of this whole story scenario was taken out of The Thing from one little brief scene, and I turned it into a full story here. Great thing about this room here is that it was wide open. It looks like a room that he's in, but where I'm standing with the camera is completely wide open to the rest of the open garage. So this is all natural sun lighting here. But it looks like a room that he went into by himself. We kind of made it look that way. I think it was Roger that gave us these stickers, radioactive stickers, and we put them on some bottles. Brought them all with us. I think we ended up leaving the bottles there after we were done shooting. We figured, who's going to know the difference in this place? Can definitely tell there's a light on him there. See the harsh shadow. Well lit, though. Definitely well lit. And there's a big problem with this shot. See all that coloring problems? That's the kind of cameras we were using back then. Didn't have chips in them. And here's Andy's big debut into our movies. Ended up being in quite a few of them. I think he was a little bit horrified doing what he did here. I think he had a good time overall, but he would do his puke scene and then he'd be like, how's that? Is that okay? And he'd jump right out of character and then back in for another take. Definitely a gross out little scene here. I've never done anything so vile since or before, and I don't even know what possessed me to do it here. I guess I was so into The Thing, which is a really gnarly movie full of gory, gross out effects and autopsies and so on, and I wanted to do something on that whole makeup thing, and my version of a makeup effect was him puking. Oh man, this is all shot. This is the last thing we shot. We were doing this at night. After everything else was shot, we ended up here in this room, and it's pitch black outside, so it's supposed to be, because they go back out and it's daytime again, but that's just part of the illusion here. You can kind of tell, look out the door that they came through, it's dark outside. Now here it is. He had egg whites, like 3 of them, beaten, and he put them in his mouth for each take and spit it out. I had to cut away so quickly after his line because he'd go, how was that? Is that okay? And he just didn't want to do it any more longer than he absolutely had to. Disgusting. You should have seen the people in class. We watched this actually on the projection TV in a very pretty large class. I don't know how many people, 50, 40 or 50 kids. and the whole place just went, ugh, and they were just, some of the girls did not kind of thing, but they don't want to even look at the rest of it. They're like, I'm not watching this. They kind of expected that there'd be several more puke scenes, I guess. I don't understand why I wrote this with this gun just sitting there. I guess the whole idea was to do this dolly, do some sort of cutting on action, invisible editing. There it goes. This is the scene we shot with Lamar. Really the only scene we did with him. That we redid with Serge. I ain't taking any chances until I know what the hell's going on around here. It wasn't exactly scripted to be said so goofily, but that's how Serge did it, and I wasn't in any mood to do any retakes or explaining anything. Serge had never even read the script. He just said, what do I do in this clip, in this shot by shot, what do I do? He's completely out of order. He had no idea what the storyline, how it was supposed to flow, start, middle, and end, because we did it completely out of order. He just did what he was told. There's a car in the background there. It's supposed to be secluded, and that's not good. Great point of view shot of Roger's things there.
What is this, man? Bob!
And another puke scene. I haven't seen this in years. I've grown accustomed to my new edited version, which I cut out the Bob puking. I cut right to here and cut all that out. I just figured enough being gross. I mean, it's just, his is almost grosser than Andy's if you think about it. His looks like an absolute upchuck. Andy's is more like foaming and whatever, but Bob looks like he just friggin' threw up. You can see my shadow here as I'm dollying away back here. All these things don't cut. Like, notice all of a sudden his hands are in his pockets. None of this cut together well because it was a lot of people. First time ever directing a crowd like this, ever. So proud of this big old first time ever doing something like this. It's so hard to coordinate people. It's so hard to get continuity. Dolly zoom shot here. Did that about 10 times. Now what the biggest mistake here is that the next shot suddenly Serge is on his knees, which no idea why we did it that way. If I just showed him getting on his knees, it might not have looked so bizarre. But suddenly he's on his knees. There's Kyle, Roger. Kyle looked at the camera briefly there. Of course, my mom, there's me, my blue hat. Pete didn't want to be in this, even though he was in the 3 other Pima videos. He said, this time I don't want to be in it. I just want to help make it on the behind the scenes. More typewritten credits here. I think occasionally you can see some other text bleed into the top or bottom. Because I was so frugal, I wanted to use 1 piece of paper for 3 credits. There it is. At the very bottom, you can make out something. Music by. This is Pete's choice in the music. Dougie Fresh kind of stuff, whatever. And I completely wanted to take this stuff out for the re-edit and make it a little more serious, a little more of an edge to it, and make it less goofy. And I kind of made it real serious. I took out the comedy element of the whole ending. Makeup effects, yeah. Egg whites in mouth, that's the makeup effects. I mean, there were no makeup effects. Courtney gave us the gun, which we used in many films, including the sequel, Contamination 2. Lost contact with him. He worked on my cars, me and Pete's cars, quite a bit. Pete's and mine, I should say. I can't even talk right. I can't even speak right. That's it for Contamination 1. That's been a lot of fun.